Today's High Performance Podcast is brought to you by Josh Phegan Digital. It's the only place to track and keep yourself accountable by looking at all of the essential numbers, from buyer appointments, market appraisals and listing appointments, to listings, sales and income, and working in 45-minute sessions. You'll find it all on Josh Phegan Digital. Welcome to High Performance, the podcast featuring Josh Phegan and Alexander Phillips. Alex, one of the great skills, particularly when you're building a team, is being able to build a team that can actually list. And when you go to think about this is one of the greatest challenges of all time, is that how do you actually get your team members listing? Alex, if you think about that skill set of not just doing buy work, but actually finding sellers and actually getting to the lounge room table and signing agency agreements, what have you done to be able to teach the people in your team to be able to get them to that point that they can list without you having to be there?
I was talking about this with Tom Fuller, who's in my team yesterday. We're talking about other teams we compete against and how they operate and how they're lead agents. They might have 5 or 6 associates or assistants within their team, but those associates or assistants are doing calls around streets to see if you're looking at selling and trying to find listings, where my guys are purely there doing buyer work, running open houses and meeting people and selling, and selling properties. So I think something that I've learned, and I learned really early on myself, is letting go. And they have to fail to get better knowledge, to become better agents, to get more drive in them, to get that next listing. And to do that, they have to do listing appointments on their own. So there's some that I go on to help. There's some that I don't. I would say that, my guys, our team is all very lucky that we get so much business and I let them run their own campaigns and give them great listings that off the back of those, if there's a listing offer, they meet that person in an open home. That's their lead. I don't go, oh, you're running my open home, that's mine. So it's also probably the structure from above of how I run it and the splits they get, which are very generous splits. I think better than most teams out there, or probably better than any team, I think. And the loyalty then grows, like Kenji. Last week has been with me for 10 years. Prue's been with me for 13 years. Vince 6, and it sort of goes on from there. Gavin 8. So it allows you to grow a better environment, but also eventually they'll a couple of them will go out on their own, and you've got better skill. They actually got better skills already than the agents we compete against. So it's pretty powerful when. Like right now, I'm sitting here right now and Tom's doing an open house of a $8 million house in Bronte, and he's confident to meet the owner there, deal with the owner, deal with the buyers. The owners are probably, we have such high expectations on us, and then if I'm not there, are these guys good enough? Do they create an aura of confidence about who they are, which they do because they've had enough pushback and rejections, negativity that they've learnt from how to build on that, and then they become better people within themselves and better agents. So it's definitely letting go. It's about having an environment of learning, growing, and not holding back. I think that's how those guys list between them, my team, 50 to 60 properties a year, so which is a lot.
The amazing thing is that if you protect them too much, they never learn the skill. Whereas if you're along the lines of say, hey Josh, I know that we're going to Smith Street together, mate, something's just come up, you'll have to go on your own. And then they've got to walk in that door in 2 minutes' time and actually present to the owner. And when they do that for the first time, whether or not they win, lose or draw, that first time that happens, then they come back to you and go, Alex, I had no idea how to close. Can you teach me that skill now? And so sometimes you got to be careful you're not protecting them too much, saying that you're going to be at every single one of those listing presentations and not actually giving them that capability to actually say, hey, this is what it's going to take. Now, Alex, last week we were inside of a very high profile firm in the inner west here in Sydney, and we had 5 of their agents come and do the listing presentation to me. And it was amazing how, some of them were so onto it. And then there are others where I was really left wanting, where they didn't have a close at the end, or they didn't do trial closes, or they had a bit of trouble when it came to dealing with the objection on fee. And ultimately, if you can just teach people some of those basic skills and give them the confidence, it's going to change a lot inside of the lounge room, right? And really, this is about them making sure that, they're never going to be ready if you don't let them get ready. And I see a lot of agents really hold other people back rather than actually saying, hey, you're now ready to go into that listing presentation. That's for you. And you might set some parameters where you say, look, under 2 mil, go do it yourself. Between 2 and 8, maybe we should go together. Above 8, I'm definitely going with you. And I might also take a co-director with me. Because it's a really important listing at that level. But it's absolutely having that skill set to say, hey, you've got everything that it takes now. Go and do those listing presentations and take me if you really need me as a part of that conversation to build volume.